I tell you what, these folks making me crazy with all these teases, man. Don't tease me. Give me what I want. Give me what I want.
Give me what I want.
Guys, welcome back into yet another video. It is I, your Lord, back again with yet another reaction, guys. Look, man, I have already talked about this. I've got a video up about this game, and I'm looking so forward, so forward to getting my hands on this game. Honestly, I think I've been waiting on this game for the better part of 2-3 years, maybe longer. Nothing extreme like a 10-year gap or nothing like that, but it's been a long time, you know. And ever since I saw this little teensy-incy trailer for it, I was already super excited for it. It was something new, it was something fresh, something I've never seen before when it came to like that action RPG, if you will, or just the action genre in general. As far as the action games go, we were always subject to, like, you know, the Devil May Cry, the Ninja Gaiden, hack and slash type games. This game was something special. This game was something unique. It was something that I've never seen before. And I was a super fan upon seeing it for the very first time. The game we are referencing is none other than my most anticipated game. Yes, I said it. My most anticipated game that is coming out, and that game is Phantom Blade Zero. So the video that we're about to watch and react to, guys, is IGN getting their hands on the demo. This demo, I think we've already seen this demo, but this is themselves getting their chance to play with the game at this past Tokyo Game Show. Now, Tokyo Game Show is already long gone, but I did not hear anything about this game at all. Now, I know it was there, but I did not see a lot on it. And I think a lot of the bulk of what we saw maybe like a month ago was like the big thing that was going on, them kind of revealing stuff and doing things like that. But this is them getting their hands on this, and I believe this may be maybe like a replay of a lot of things that we've already seen, but I'm here to see it. I'm here to watch. I'm here to react to it. I'm so looking forward to this game. You got me over here fucking stuttering. But before we get into all of that, y'all already know the deal. Guys, if you're enjoying the content that's being put out on this channel, go ahead and feel free to hit that subscribe button as well as hit that like button. Those two things don't cost you a goddamn dime, but those things do help the channel and help us grow, help us be seen, all that good stuff, and I can be able to put out more content. It just goes a long way. Now, those of you that have done those things, I do appreciate you. Those things have not gone unnoticed, and let's just continue to rock it. Let's continue to keep moving forward, because that's all we're going to do. But enough of all that, enough of that. Guys, let's go ahead and get into the reaction of their hands-on experience with Phantom Blade Zero. I can't fucking wait. I'm telling y'all, I can't wait. Let's do this. All right, let's rock it. Let's rock it.
Often, we attach a certain descriptor to the fans of particular gaming genres. Someone might be a shooter aficionado or a puzzle expert, maybe a sports enthusiast, each eliciting a certain image that we might associate with a particular audience. Then there are the lovers of tough action games, those of us who take joy in friction, revel in the struggle, or, as we like to call ourselves, sickos. At Tokyo Game Show 2025, this sicko went hands-on with Phantom Blade Zero, the highly anticipated upcoming action RPG from S-Game. With an arsenal of ferocious weapons, brutal finishers, and savage enemies, it has all the makings of a bloody good time. After an hour of uninterrupted combat, boss battles, and more than a few deaths, I came away with one question. How soon can I schedule my sick days?
Man, he ain't lying. That man ain't motherfucking lying. I'll tell you that much. Let's get it.
You play as Soul, an assassin framed for the murder of the head of his order. Our journey with him in this demo begins at the bottom of a canyon. After just a few steps, we encounter an enemy camp. There will be no easing into battle as a pair of foot soldiers charge, followed by a spear wielder mounted on a horse, while a bowman in a nearby tower takes aim. If it's a fight they want, it's a fight they'll get, as I pull out my sword and start jockeying for position. Phantom Blade Zero is an action game first and foremost. Combatants, you included, have a health bar and a Sha-Chi meter. The former does exactly what you'd expect, while the latter acts as a mix of stamina, skill power, and energy for special attacks. It's not stamina-based combat in the strict Souls-like sense. You can do things like throw out basic attacks or dodge without fear of losing your ability to defend yourself. But you do need it to fuel your more powerful Sha-Chi, aka heavy, attacks, and it is consumed while blocking. If you or an enemy runs out of Sha-Chi, you become breached, which breaks your stance and leaves you extremely vulnerable until it refills. I take a few arrows for my trouble, but manage to carve through the small detachment. As the enemy's health and Sha-Chi drops, I'm able to execute finishers, dazzling flourishes that eliminate enemies in brutal and bloody ways.
Bro, come on, dog. Come on. Man, you don't know how bad I want to play this game, man. I want to play this game so bad, bro. I want to play this game so bad. Like, again, it is something that I'm going to use the word unprecedented. I've never seen an action game as fluid as that. You know, it seems like you are actually playing like a kung fu movie, or you're actually in the middle of like the stuff that we see on film. So it's like, man, it looks so good. It looks so good. It looks so fluid. And it's pretty good. So just touching on a few things that he did touch on. He stated that it is not in reference to like a Souls-like game. So meaning that it's not going to be based off of like your health, your mana, and your stamina, right? You got your red, blue, and your green. That's usually the bar that you will have. Now, it's not based off of that. So there's no stamina meter. But he said it was like a chi meter, a Shang-Chi meter, or something to that degree. I may have butchered that because I really wasn't paying attention to what he was saying. For the most part, I was, but I wasn't. I was sidetracked. But he's saying that meter is what you will have, and what happens is upon blocking, that meter depletes over time. So you can't just stand there and block, because if you do stand there and block, it technically is like your stamina meter to a degree. But if you stand there and you block too long, it's going to get depleted, and you're pretty much going to be vulnerable to get hit. So for me, from what I'm hearing, you're definitely going to have to be on your toes, and you're going to have to pay attention, because if you don't pay attention in regards to the game or what's happening or your surroundings or whatever the case may be, you're going to get overwhelmed. Because from what I can see and the things that I have seen, these enemies don't play. And I'm not saying in the sense that they hit very, very hard, but what I am saying is that it can be overwhelming from what I've seen. Instead of you fighting one person and being able to take them out and then take out the next and then take out the next, it looks like about 3-4 of them swarm you at one time, and you got to maneuver and figure out what's the best way to get out of that particular situation. That is dope to me. I like that. You know what I mean? I want there to be a challenge. I don't want to run through the game in, 10 hours. Not saying that the game is going to be 10 hours, but I don't want to run through the game in 10 hours and then be disappointed and like left wanting more, because the game pretty much took care of me. It pretty much cuffed me in his little hand like a fucking baby bird and just, caught on me the whole time. I don't want that. I want a game that's going to push me. I want a game that's going to push the limits of what it could do and just overall have a bloody fucking good time. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
Across a small bell suspended from a short wooden stand. With a flick, it rings out, revealing a portion of the map. This also functions as a respawn area and fast travel point, similar to a bonfire from Dark Souls. Executing a block just as an attack arrives allows you to parry the blow, and I learned quickly that these aren't just a defensive option, they're an essential part of combat. Not only do they negate incoming damage without draining your Sha-Chi, but they also deplete that of the attacker. Sure, you might be able to breach one enemy with pure aggression, but against tougher foes or groups, all of whom are only too eager to start beating on you at once, that's not going to cut it. The best option isn't necessarily to go in sword of flailing like in Ninja Gaiden, or take turns parrying like in Sekiro. is almost like a middle ground where elements of both converge, giving the combat a very distinct feeling as you push forward, invite attacks, then parry and riposte. That's not to say there isn't a place for dodging. Enemies launch special attacks called brutal moves and killer moves. The former are meant to be parried, the latter dodged. Using the right type of defense results in you performing a ghost step, a really slick-looking teleport dodge that leads directly into a counterattack.
See, so basically he just touched on exactly what I just said. And I haven't even put my hands on it, but yes, you can see that I've thoroughly studied this shit. So again, it's like he said, you know, you're going to have that group of people that are going to come up on you, and you're going to have to be on your toes, and you're going to have to be on your P's and Q's in order to be able to survive most encounters. You're not going to be able to go in there, like he said, and flail around. It's not really flailing, but you're not going to be able to go in there and just straight up just action, just constantly fucking hitting the button, hopefully destroying your targets, like on Ninja Gaiden. You're going to have to be a little bit more strategic when it comes to that. You're not going to be able to just parry everything like a Sekiro. You're going to have to meld the two together, basically, to have a blade dance, if you will, right? Much like it is on the movies, right? You don't see in the movies somebody just constantly attacking and different things like that, or a barrage of constant sword swings. It's a mixture of both. It's a mixture of me attacking as well as me blocking, as well as me defending, as well as me getting in and out, as well as me evading. All of those things are going to come into play. That's why I'm super fucking excited for this game, because I feel as though, based off of what I've seen, again, I haven't had hands-on experience. I hate that I haven't had hands-on experience. I really want to. But based off of what I've seen, it's going to marry all of that together to where you're going to have to be great at both, right? Especially when you start getting into the higher difficulties. Definitely.
That comes in handy as I climb the rickety scaffolding up the cliffside. I stealth kill one swordsman on the climb, but fail to get a spearman and have to rely heavily on those ghost steps as he and the three buddies he calls over take turns trying to turn me into a pincushion.
Now, he said the ghost steps, too. He mentioned that the ghost steps were, as far as, from what I can tell, he said that the ghost steps were, like, perfectly dodging and moving out the way, right? So, if that's perfectly dodging, that's kind of like your perfect parry to a degree. Again, I can't speak too much on it, but I'm just going based off of what I've seen. But that ghost step will come in handy as well, as far as when it comes to encounters for enemies. Death is only the beginning.
My first death comes around 15 minutes into my demo. After fighting across several isolated platforms, I face off against a pair of spear users. I strike one down quickly, but eat too many shots in my aggression. I try to take a more measured approach with the second, though, and as soon as I try to create space, I'm killed by an explosive arrow from some far-off archer. My life ends, punctuated with the Crimson Dead scrawled across the screen.
I am noticing one thing, too. I am noticing the fact that I'm seeing a lot of these individuals not utilizing that kill button, right? So you got triangle that pops up there. That means that they're weak enough for you to do basically an execution. I'm not seeing a lot of them doing that like they should. As soon as that button comes up from somebody who plays a lot of action games such as this, huge Ninja Gaiden guy, all these other games, if that comes up, press the fucking button. Don't sit up here and wait. Don't do random bullshit. Kill them fuckers, man. Kill them. Because also, in a sense of what I've noticed too in certain games, if you're in that animation and you just so happen to get shot, the arrow may go through you. The arrow may not affect you because the animation takes precedence. Food for thought.
Moments later, I awaken at the bell stand from before. Unlike a Souls game, where visiting a site of grace or equivalent brings fallen enemies back to life, everyone I've defeated remains dead. There are no runes to collect or battles to be refought. But that doesn't mean death is without consequences. Soul has 66 days to complete his mission, and every death costs him one of them. Now, how strict that limit is or whether or not we can get days back is unclear, but I certainly feel the...
Wow, that's pretty fucking cool. That's pretty fucking dope. So essentially what he's saying is it's like Elden Ring, but not Elden Ring. To where if you drop your runes upon death, you do have the opportunity to go back and pick them up. Now, if you don't pick them up and you die again, you lose them. But in this case, he's saying that you have a time limit, which I'm not sure. I've never seen it, honestly, mentioned or shown on a pause menu or anything. Again, this is just a fresh demo, so I'm not sure they went that deep into it, but I've never seen a countdown for that. But you're going to lose your day. So you have a number of days to basically prove your innocence or just go through and, complete the adventure. But as he said, when you die, you lose a day. So if you die too many times, you're going to run out of time. And I wonder what would happen then if you run out of time. Will you have to start all the way the fuck over? Or whatever. See, like, that's a lot of questions now. Now I have a bunch of fucking questions. It's not that I hate that he said that, but it is like, okay, if I do happen to lose a day, like he said, it hasn't been told whether or not you have the ability to gain it back. But it's like, if you do lose that day, like, fuck. What happens if they diminish to zero? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a lot. It's a lot. Let's keep going.
Pressure to stay alive and not waste any of that potentially limited time by dying if I can avoid it. I decide it's time to switch up my armaments a bit. Soul can equip 2 weapons, one for general combat and 2 phantom edges, which are limited use items like a powerful bow and arrow or man cutter, an enormous halberd that can crush enemies with a charged smash attack.
Okay.
Each weapon has unique combinations and comes with some sort of perk or special ability. Sanguine, your default longsword, can launch a rapid succession of tumbling attacks, which is great for shredding a breached enemy. I had been leaning on Seamless Death, a pair of chakram-like weapons that can be used for fast up-close combinations or thrown to do solid damage from a distance.
But
now I decide to give Jagged Edge, the enormous greatsword, a go, as I return to the site of my death and enact my revenge on the remaining spear soldier. I have to run to avoid the incoming fire from the bowmen across the chasm, and eventually find a route to some platforms I can use to get across, executing an excellent wall run into an instant kill of a swordsman I caught unawares along the way. I ring a bell here, establishing a new respawn point, and jump down towards another pair of bow and arrow equipped enemies. I land atop one, executing a throw and stab combo to kill him in one fell swoop, then separate the head and body of his buddy with a finisher, creating a satisfying fountain of blood.
I love it! That's my favorite motherfucker.
Later, I'm
That's my
ambushed by a pair
favorite
of dagger
motherfucking
wielders.
execution.
Rather
dog.
than defeat them with my blade,
Favorite
I call
one.
upon
Now again, I haven't seen them all. Hopefully, I haven't seen them all. I hope there's new ones, right? But depending on the weapon. But that shit, bruh. Ooh, that man, beautiful, beautiful execution.
Flaming Mane, one of my phantom edges. This takes the form of a flame-spewing lion mask, quickly burning up both of my adversaries, opening the way for me to advance. Eventually, I reach a large open area at the bottom of the cliffs. After fighting through a few groups of enemies, it's time to take on
I have
my first
already
boss.
seen in the sense
Enter
of like other
Juan
people
June
playing. I haven't
Coppermall,
seen
a towering figure built like the butcher from
IGN,
Diablo,
but
with a massive warhammer that perfectly
seen
matches
other
his
people
sheer
play.
mass. I quickly learn he fights dirty too,
I mean, they
as he
already
scatters
got-
dirt into my face with his weapon, covering the
that?
screen to obscure
Oh,
my
that's nice.
visibility. Getting caught in that proves a fatal mistake as
That's
he grabs
nice.
me, lines me up, and crushes me with a swing that would make Cal Raleigh proud.
Hella damn.
Undeterred, I return to give him another go. His wild swings are powerful, but I quickly get the timing down to parry most of his attacks, taking large chunks out of his Sha Chi
Nice.
with each combination. Once he is
Nice.
breached, I press
Sha
the attack
Chi.
hard using the soft snake sword, a flexible, almost whip-like blade that dishes damage quickly.
That's another weapon.
There are a
I'm
few
probably
dicey
gonna use.
moments, but the thrill of victory is mine as I take down the giant. It's a cool fight, and a solid example of how important learning boss patterns on the fly will be.
That dude all in his motherfucking
I
ass
add
and
Bash
thighs.
Pole, as his weapon is called, to my arsenal as a phantom edge. Using it to smash through a wooden floor to reach a new passageway, I press on. The next boss comes as a complete surprise. As I made my way through some sort of village, I climbed to the roof of a round building. Standing dramatically atop a small spire at the center was Red Wraith, who was an intimidating entrance despite her smaller frame, made doubly so by the total lack of cutscene, gate, or any other sort of forewarning. She immediately presses the attack with her longsword and some sort of thrown blade, but I managed to ghost step to quickly break her guard. Something seems off though. The fight seems almost too easy, which doesn't go unnoticed by Soul, and he suggests that we
I'm
can
trying to
leave
figure
her
out
be
why
and
she's
flee if we
floating in the air
wanted.
like that.
Shouldn't
Oh,
be
shit.
push on for now.
Hold on, demo. Hold up now. Fix yourself now.
Curiosity gets the better of me, and I make a hasty retreat, leaving the Red Wraith behind, a decision that would come back to haunt me. A few skirmishes later, I reach the final boss of the demo, the Chief Disciple of the Seven Stars. He leads a team of 6 other warriors, and even as a veteran of many, many action games, I have to admit this is one of the more impressive boss fights in recent memory. Each warrior has their own health bar, including the Chief Disciple with the boss's health bar, and they
that's nice.
seamlessly switch between attacking independently and striking as one. One moment I'm isolating one enemy, chipping away at their health, then suddenly the entire group converges on me with a coordinated thrust attack from all directions, as my perfectly timed dodge allows me to leap their collective attack and land gracefully upon the combined tips of all their weapons.
Nice.
It's a
Nice.
gorgeous spectacle, and each time I chip away at the Chief Disciple's health in this intricate dance of
It
steel,
is.
his followers heal him, sacrificing their own health
That's
in
a
the
dope
process.
concept, right?
I continuously
Because
chip away
you're
at the group,
technically
using a
fighting the
leaping
boss
smash from Bash
plus
Bowl to send
everybody else,
everyone
so that's
flying
pretty
when I'm
dope.
in danger of being overwhelmed. As their
And
numbers
it's a
dwindle,
lot of them.
the Chief
So
Disciple
it's
changes
not
tactics,
as if we
giving
haven't
away his
seen
health to
something
make
like this
sure
before,
there are at least 3
but
followers
it's,
at his
you know.
sides at all times. This proves his folly, as I take advantage of his rapidly diminishing strength and drop him with a throw-in barrage from seamless damage. The fight wasn't over yet, however. His 3 disciples scattered to a trio of towers, throwing out what resembled threads. The boss, now called the Chief Disciple's Fallen Hope, rose from the ground like some abomination of a marionette, and the battle began anew. This time, it was strictly a 1v1. His ferocious attacks now coming with him dangling as he rushed me with melee attacks and threw a screen-filling barrage of his own threads. Even this I thought I could handle until I heard a voice call out, "Nothing can separate us, not
Yeah,
even
Red
in death."
Wraith.
The Red Wraith had returned,
That you
and the
left
combined
behind.
fury of both bosses was more than I could handle. I died. Then I died again. And again.
That shit
Each
took a lot of
rematch
health.
began at the start of the marionette phase, but time and time again I fell when the Red Wraith arrived, my decision to be merciful earlier haunting me. But damn it if I didn't learn just a little more each time, get to that last phase with just a little more health each attempt. As I threw myself at what seemed like an impossible fight just a few
Yeah.
attempts earlier,
You're gonna learn.
I
When you
began
go
to
through
see
stuff
the
like this,
windows
you
to
play
attack,
games like this,
until
you're gonna
finally,
learn over
my
time.
heart pounding in my chest,
Right.
I struck down the Red Wraith with a leaping finisher for my seamless death, withstood the enraged counterattack from the Disciple's Lost Hope, and severed his strings and head with one last swipe of my sword. There are 3 difficulty options to choose from, but even at the default setting that I played at, Phantom Blade Zero is hard, and I love that about it. It never felt cheap, it just demanded more from me. In just over an hour of play, I was easily 10 times the player I was when I started.
Yeah.
It's a feeling of achievement that is reserved for the very best action games on the planet. If the rest is anything like what I played at TGS, I feel like there's a real chance that Phantom Blade Zero might be one of those games.
Yeah.
For more
I'm highly
previews of the
looking
biggest
forward to this.
upcoming games, don't miss our recent hands-on looks at Jurassic World Evolution 3 and Battlefield 6's single-player campaign. And for everything else in the world of gaming, stay locked in at IGN.
Man, goddamn man, I tell you. Majority of what he played, if not all of it, I mean, I know he skipped a few things. I saw like long form versions of it from other people who may have posted it online like a month ago or something like that. So the Tokyo Game Show demo was very similar to the demo that they've already had and had been out for a month. So again, nothing new. However, it's still new based off of who's playing it. You know what I'm saying? But from what I saw, man, it's going to be a hell of a game. And that's what I can't wait to play. That's why I want to play it. Because again, for me, I'm glad he kind of said, like, even though he was playing on a default setting and there's 3 settings there, he was saying that it's still hard. So if it's a default setting, I'm probably going to assume that majority of default settings are going to be normal on most games. So he was probably playing on normal. Now, if he was having that much of an issue on normal to play the game, okay. That's a good sign to a degree. Now, it's not like a gatekeeping type thing for me, but I want games like that, right? Genre of games like that, to have some type of semblance of difficulty, right? I don't want it to be this easy game you just go into and just, okay, it is what it is, right? I get it, because a lot of companies and a lot of game designers or game developers, they want everybody to play it, right? They want everybody to play it. But here's the problem with that. The issue I have is that you can't please everybody. And that just goes with anything. That just goes throughout life in general. You can't please everybody. So there's going to be sometimes there's going to be situations that are going to come up to where it's not going to be as you want it to be, right? And essentially, again, I have no issue with it because it's not really affecting me too much. But I just preach like have that game have a little bit of difficulty. Now, in an interview I saw him do, the guy said he just really wants people just to play the game, right? He wants people to enjoy and experience like they are in a kung fu movie or something to that degree, and he kind of just wants people to kind of enjoy the game, which is fair and it's understandable. I get it, but there is options for harder game, right? I know for a fact that they have a harder difficulty, and it's called the Hellwalker difficulty. I do know that for a fact. However, it's also been said by this person, by the developer, that you can't unlock Hellwalker difficulty until you beat the game. You know, now I do get that, because if Hellwalker difficulty is what it proclaims to be as far as Hellwalker difficulty, then I can understand them wanting you to play it either on normal or hard first to get your feet wet, to get your bearings, to understand the game. And it kind of adds a layer of replayability, right? Because if you've played it on normal and then you want to test your luck and you're like, hey, you know what? I feel as though I can do better. You know, as far as the challenging mindset people who want to challenge, you know what I'm saying? Then they may want to play on hard. And then after hard, they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go ahead and let's try this. Let me move to Hellwalker difficulty. Let me see if I can, you know what I'm saying, fuck some people up on that. You know, again, I like games that do challenge you. You know, I don't want it to be so overly challenging to where you can't fucking progress, but I do want there to be some type of challenge to the game, because I don't want to beat the game in 5 hours. I want the game to be lengthy. I want there to be things that I can do. I want there to be side missions. I want the main quest on the main quest line to be a little bit difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I want. I don't want there to be this easy, you know, hip hip hoorah, and you go through and you run through the game and you beat the game in 7 to 8 hours. I don't want that. That's why I'm a big advocate on games that have some type of length, some type of girth to them.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want it to be okay, you beat this game in 2 seconds. The rumor is that the game is going to be anywhere from like 70 to 80 hours long. That's a bit of a stretch. I don't think it's going to be that long, because mainly games like that, I don't think particular individuals, like casual gamers, aren't really going to stand for that. Especially you're talking about somebody who's going to work, coming back home from work, playing it maybe like a couple of hours of the day. And within that couple hours time period, they probably got killed multiple times, right? They're not going to want to, you know, experience that for no 80 fucking hours. I would love it to be 80 hours long. You know what I'm saying? But other casual gamers who aren't going to be playing it like that, they're probably not going to want it to be that. Regardless of all that, I feel like I've talked enough. That was IGN's hands-on experience with the game. It seemed like he loved the game. He loved every bit of it. I can't wait to get my fucking hands on the game myself. Again, majority of everything he played, I've already seen. So I saw all of that. But I just wanted to get his take on it and things of that nature. So that's a good thing. I just can't wait for the game. I really can't wait for the game. And I hope it is as glorious and stunning and beautiful and immersive as I have talked myself up for it to be. That's all I can say to that. In the meantime, guys, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and again hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, as well as subscribe to the channel. As I said, those things are free, don't cost you anything, but they do help the channel, help us grow. And we're just going to keep moving forward. So I'm glad you guys came and hung out with me. Again, as I always say, guys, keep living, keep loving, and keep gaming. And I, your Lord, will see you guys in the next one. I'm out.
Voices in my mind.